Is ABM at scale even ABM at all? Or is it just outbound and inbound marketing that's just been targeted? That's what I asked LinkedIn a few weeks ago. And I was really surprised by the response that I got in the comments. I got like 60 plus responses from different people. And what started as a question just around can you scale ABM really sparked by a debate that I was having internally with my team ended up being kind of an exploration on really defining ABM. Looking through a bunch of the comments, it was clear that many people had different definitions of what ABM truly is. And then that led them to have different opinions on whether it can be scaled or not. So I wanted to kind of go through some of those comments and also go down this exploration and learning that I've done the past few days. So looking at my posts in the comments, the first one's by Chris Gillespie. He said, this is a great ABM issue. There are so many programs masquerading as ABM that function suspiciously like whatever that company was doing before. It's a revolution half finished. I kind of agree with that one. I do think that people think that they're doing ABM, but they're really not. And I'll talk about why. Another one is around ABM being a strategy at all. So Chris Walker says ABM is an account tiering and prioritization strategy. It's not a go-to-market motion. And I think what Chris is trying to say here is what the way that people define ABM now or how they're doing ABM now is not a go-to-market motion. And I agree, and there's reasons behind that. But I still feel like there's a case to say that ABM is still a go-to-market strategy. And a funny comment from Rachel Squire. Remember when everyone talked about ABM in the vein of fishing with spears? Funny mental image picturing that at scale. It's true. When ABM was first kind of, taking steam, it was talked about this is trying to get your big whale, your big account, high value account, and doing that with very targeted marketing that's more one-to-one. And so can you do that at scale? Seems weird too. And a bunch of other people's answers talked about how there's levels and layers of ABM, one-to-one, one-to-few, one-to-many. Others have said just being personalized and targeted to a set of accounts is ABM. There was a lot of different definitions. Some people even said that ABM has different kind of levels. There's enterprise ABM, there's SMB ABM. And so I wanted to explore and go back to the origins of ABM because I think that then we can go back to figure out what was the intention of ABM in the first place. When I think about when I started my career at Marketo, I was actually helping with operationalizing our outbound strategy at the time. And we called it outbound, but really it was kind of what we consider ABM. We worked really closely with our enterprise AEs to select a few key named accounts. We had BDRs that were specifically tied to that rep and to go after those accounts. And then we built out customized messaging and targeting for specific channels to get into that account. And not just digital, we did email and we had even in some cases some landing pages, but we also did field marketing, key events, small events, or going even to events where we knew that big account was going to be at to try and engage with them. And that's kind of what it takes to get into a large account. And when you're focused on really trying to land that account. And so at that time, we weren't calling it ABM. But actually, the term ABM was first coined, I would say, by ITSMA in 2004. So that's 20 years ago now, when they launched a workshop. But I feel like it didn't take steam until John Miller started Engagio. And they were the pioneers on spreading the message on what ABM is. So I thought, okay, let's go back to how Engagio described ABM because that's probably still closer to what ABM is. So I went and looked at their kind of definitive guide, clear and complete guide, and they defined account-based marketing directly in the first few pages. And it said, account-based marketing is a go-to-market strategy that coordinates personalized marketing and sales efforts to land and expand target accounts. Now, there's a few key things here and components that I think has sold to me what ABM truly is, and I think can clearly define that. Well, one, they call it a go-to-market strategy. So that takes care of that kind of conversation. It's not just a simple campaign or a tactic. It's really just a business strategy that they're adopting, and they're going to have their marketing sales efforts aligned to that strategy. The key thing also there is marketing and sales. It says ABM is led by marketing in close collaboration with sales. So what that means is you need alignment between marketing and sales. They need to work closely with together and lockstep with each other to be, really executing on the actual strategy that it is. A lot of companies don't have that. If you have like just an ounce of a problem with marketing and sales alignment, you're probably not doing an ABM well. And then another key part is personalized. So it's built on account specific insight. That's, I feel like, almost like what people call signals now, content and messages for maximum relevance and resonance. So this is personalized, highly personalized. And in some cases, you can't really do that at scale either, because it takes a lot of effort to really research the account, understand the pain points, talking to even people at that account, or working with partners. It's a lot that you can't really do at scale to help get into these large accounts. So also just doing a personalized landing page that has the company's logo on it, yes, that it could be part of your ABM strategy, but it's not that alone. It's a lot of activities together. And then last thing, target accounts. So focus more resources on the most valuable accounts. That is where a lot of people get mixed up too. So essentially, if you're saying the most valuable accounts, for a lot of companies, that's going to mean enterprise accounts. Or if you have a really big deal size with that account, because the math has to math. If you're going to put in a ton of money and resources into trying to land that account in that deal, it's going to have to be proportional to how big that deal size is. So if you're doing SMB and your deal size is, 12K, 13K, it doesn't really make sense to do ABM. You just need to go kind of more traditional marketing approach. Yes, you can have a strong sense of ICP and still segment and target your efforts, but is it really ABM? Also, if you have hundreds of thousands of accounts that you're considering as part of your target accounts, that still isn't it. So I think as far as like the tiering and account prioritization, yes, that is ABM, but it's just a portion of ABM. You need the strategy to match that. Also within the guide, there was more definitions, but from ITSMA, Serious Decisions, Gartner, Topo, but it was very clear that all of them said the same thing, that it was a strategic approach. It was highly targeted and it was personalized, and you're going after high value accounts. So what is happening today? I think people have been sold an idea, especially from vendors that want to sell their ABM tools to a lot of companies, that ABM is just targeted marketing, really. If you're just going to get a really big set of accounts that meet your ICP and then run ads against them, that alone is not ABM. That's just targeted marketing. And also, those companies know that not every company is just going to be focused on enterprise accounts. A lot of the times, even their target market could be SMB. It doesn't really make sense for them to do a true ABM strategy because it's going to be too much work, and they probably don't even have the resources or team to do that. So that is why I think what's happened is we tier accounts. We have a tier 1 for sales, tier 2, which is still a large set of accounts, and tier 3. And then what marketing does is go after those tier 3s and also tier 1s and tier 2s. And then sales will kind of go on their way to kind of do more of their own efforts to tier 1, maybe partnering with marketing a little bit, but it's not this like concerted effort together. So I don't know. I think somewhere along the line that's got lost. It's not ABM to me. So is it ABM to you? Have we really lost sight of what true ABM is and how to execute that go-to-market strategy? If you disagree, or if you do agree, leave a comment. If this is on LinkedIn or on YouTube, just post in the comments as well. Would love to hear it.